Hello and welcome back to my crafty channel. My name is Missy. Today I'm going to be working on some fall things to stock in my Ko-Fi shop. And I had some questions on how I make my boho tassels, especially for my journals. So this is my creative journal that I absolutely love. I do a lot of work on this. I have a whole playlist. If you guys want to check it out, I'll have it linked down below. But I make these beautiful tassels for all different seasons, and I call them boho tassels, but I can make them, you know, just a regular boho one. We can make them for fall, for Christmas, for summer, all different kinds of styles. But what I love to do with them is I find the page that I am working on, and because it has this piece here, and that piece will hang out the bottom portion of the journal, you can then put it in, kind of pulled it, there we go, in your journal. And look how cute, isn't that adorable? Let me just like zoom out a little here. There we go. Look how cute that is. Isn't that adorable for fall? And I have all different kinds of beads and all different kinds of styles. You can also use these boho tassels in a reading book, in your Bible, your journals, anywhere where you need to like hold a place, these tassel work. But right now I am working on fall things, so I thought I would just take the time to show you how I put some of these together using some things that I picked up from the Dollar Tree recently. Dollar Tree is starting to put out all of their fall ribbon. Look how stinking cute these are. Look at these with the mushrooms, the pumpkins, the sunflowers. So I can make many different kinds. They even put out lace ribbon, and I've even picked up some of their different color yarn, I guess is what you can put. And then I even have some trim and stuff that I picked up from the Dollar Tree that was for Christmas. But because it's a neutral color, you can actually use these for any season that you want. And we're going to put together some cute fall tassels. So if you happen to hear a little noise in the background, it is very hot where I live here on the Jersey Shore, and I have a fan running. I am super hot working in my office here. But some unusual colors, like this is a lot of what I use to make the fall tassels, great fall colors, you know, and then you add like, you know, maybe like these mushrooms and such, you're gonna look adorable. But I also love blue for fall. So I also gathered some of these colors. We got some beautiful white ribbon here. This is beautiful. Like these can make little shorter tassels, all different kinds. We can do all different kinds of lengths. I think a pop of pink would be really cute. And then if you add this in with it, and then I have this one that kind of looks like a jean. And if you add these blue together with like, let's say the blue sunflower with like some of this yellow, or even like these blue pumpkins, I think it'll look super cute. So I am going to make some blue ones as well. And I think that's what I'm going to kind of do first, because you guys just saw the orange one. So I think I'm going to do something a little different. And I'm going to make it a little bit shorter for a smaller journal. So I can get a couple of these in, because some people don't have real big journals. But anyways, so the first thing that you're going to need is, of course, you're going to need your ribbon. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is just take a minute and I'm going to cut the ribbon that I want. And I think I'm going to do the sunflower. So I'm going to open this. I think these blue ones are going to turn out super cute. I love that color blue for fall. If I can get it open here. Let's see, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to measure out pretty much all the same size. Okay. Alrighty, I want this color in here to, oh my, wait, there it is. To, pop in that like yellow color from the sunflower. We might do a couple of these actually. Let me cut one more. Okay, we'll do a couple of those. And then I really want to bring in, do I want this bright white or do I want like a duller? Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to bring in a little bit of a duller, no, I think that'll look better with the mushrooms. Maybe I will do white. Let me do white. Bring in a little bit of lace. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, let me put this color over here. And then what, do I want to bring in pink? Or do I want to save that for the mushrooms? I think I'm going to save these. Not for the mushrooms, for the pumpkins. But I think I will use this dark blue. Let me get this dark blue. Okay. Alrighty. And I think we'll do one of these. Okay, and then because we have the bright white lace, we're gonna add the bright white pom-poms because we brought in the white lace. I think the pom-pom trim will look cute. Trying to make them pretty much all the same size, but after you create it, you can always trim these back up, you know. And then I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save all that for, all right, I think we're gonna do one more strip of this. Okay. Let's do. All right, so what we need to do is the base thing I'm gonna do is put the biggest one down. I'm gonna put this one down first. Then I'm gonna go in probably with the pom-pom. All right, and then we'll put the gingham, then sunflower. And again, these don't have to be perfect by any means at all. We'll do this one, then we'll do the white lace, then we'll do this one, okay, then we'll do this one, and then we'll do this one. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is just take some binding, like I use these to bind journals. You can use just something thick. I would highly recommend something very thick. Okay, and what you're gonna do is you're just going to pick this up in the middle, slip this under, okay, and you're gonna pull until you get the length of the ends. And remember, you're gonna have to tie this a couple times too, so whatever length you feel like. Okay, I think this is good. So let me cut it. Okay, and let me get this side of the way. Alrighty, and just make sure that you have everything pretty much the way you want it to show up in your tassel. All right, and you're gonna kind of measure out like where you feel like the center is. Feel it's right about here. And then you're going to tie this, cinch it. Okay. Now, I always like to fold it and make sure we have about, yeah, that looks about right. Okay. So we're gonna cinch it really good. And we're gonna tie it again. We want it to get tight. Okay. Alrighty, and then we're gonna bring in some decorative pieces. So what I have here is I use usually one of these at the top because I really like that boho look, but this is white, it's not kind of like an off-white. So I was thinking about using one of these blue ones, but I'm not sure because it's kind of a different color blue. But we can go in and just see because these come off super, super easy. Okay. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that. Actually, it doesn't look that bad at all. All right, so I'm gonna do 2 of these. Okay, so I got the 2 on there, and I don't think that looks bad at all. Of course, I'm gonna trim this up a little bit, but I love how cute it is. It's real dainty. But anyways, so what we're gonna do now is we're going to knot it here. We're gonna do it a couple times just to give it that extra security here to keep that all down. Not too many though, because we don't want it to look gaudy. But anyways, this is where you have your personal discretion and decision. You can from here make 2 separate tassels that dangle down at the bottom that will hang out. Let me grab this. Let me grab it real quick for you. That will hang out the bottom of whatever you're doing, your journals, your books, whatever. See, you can have 2 separate tassels that dangle, or you can bring them back together. And actually what I would love to do with these is actually trim these up a little bit and burn the edges so that it's not so, you know, I don't know. Some people like that look at the bottom and then some people don't because that will fray. Burning them will keep them from fraying. But it's your decision, but you will have 2 pieces of string. You can bring them, like I said, back together, add your beads down at the bottom, or you can keep them separate. I don't know if I did that in this one. No, I brought them back together for this one too. I brought them back together for this one, but you do not have to do that. You can keep them separate and have 2 different tassels. I like that idea sometimes too, because let's say like you're in your Bible and you're studying 2 different scriptures, you can separate this then and put it in 2 different places. So that is all on your discretion, whatever it is that you want to do. I'll probably do a couple tassels where they're joined together at the bottom and then a couple that aren't. But I think for this one, I'm going to keep them separate. And I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go in here. Let me see real quick. What could we do really cute? Ooh, we have little stars. I don't know if the stars might be cute. A couple little stars we could do at the bottom. Here's my lighter to burn the ends. These are cute, but they're like the wrong color blue. I was thinking about bringing in some gold. I thought the gold would look really nice, but I'm not sure. Or if I should just stick with the blue. I should just follow through with these. I think I'm just gonna follow through so that it's all uniform. But these little ones, they are super cute. The little stars, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think we're gonna keep it all kind of like uniform. And I'm gonna separate this one so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So we're gonna thread this one through here. Oh, let's see. All right. Okay, so this one needs to come up here. All right, we're gonna thread this one through. Sometimes these beads have like things in here. Let me just open this one up a little bit. And it, like, the thread catches on them. They're wooden, that's why. They're wooden beads, and sometimes like because they're wooden, there's like little things on the inside of them, if that makes sense. Like little, I don't know, like if you want to call it splinters, and like the thread like catches on it. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, so this part is kind of important. You want to make sure they are pretty much lined up. Okay. And we're going to knot it. And again. Now to strengthen these, okay, let me just make sure that won't go over that knot. No, okay. To strengthen the knot, I always take a little bit of tacky glue, and I always put it on the knot. That will eventually, that tacky glue will dry, but it makes the knot super, super strong. So that does not come off. That'll be like horrible if this like unknotted, you know what I mean? Okay, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing for this one, and we're gonna try to get them like at almost like the exact same point. Okay, we want it to be about here. Okay, let me just... Alright, I want it to be about... Okay. And they're handmade, they don't have to be like absolutely perfect, you know what I mean? But you want to get them close. Okay. All right, let me put some tacky glue on this. This just strengthens this knot, I'm telling you. It keeps them from falling apart. And I will put some tacky glue up in here as well when I'm done. Okay. It just really strengthens that knot to keep them from falling off. Okay, and then we're gonna trim them just a little. We can leave a little bit of a little tassel, if you will. Okay, let me trim this one just a little. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of like unfray this one as well, so they kind of look the same. And then I'm gonna burn the edges of them off. Okay. Alrighty. So we're just gonna take the lighter. There we go. And now we have a nice burnt edge. They won't go anywhere. Okay. And then I'm going to, okay, let's take that down. I'm gonna come up here and I'm going to make sure that that's super tight. And I'm going to add my tacky glue so that this knot does not come apart. Just like that. And we're going to, this will all dry clear, so don't worry about how it looks, you know. It looks a little gunky, but I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference when it comes to that knot. when you feel it after it dries, it's like as hard as a brick, and that's what you want. I don't want that knot to come loose and, you know, the whole thing like unravel. So the tacky glue makes a big, big difference. Okay. Alrighty, and there you have tassel. So now we're just going to trim up any loose ends that look really unproportioned, like this one. Just trim that up. Okay. And then we have this cute little tassel. Isn't it adorable? So let me grab a book. Let's see, what would this one? Oh, I have this one. I think it'll look super cute. So I have this little journal that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. Remove this. We'll just pick a page and like I'll show you. So let's say I'm working, because now we split this. Let's say I'm working on this page. We can move that one up. Oh, I'm not even showing you. Okay, can you see? All right, let's say we're working, because this is the smaller journals. Okay, let's say I'm working on this page, and because we split this, I'm working on this page. I now can bring this one in. So now I've saved 2 pages in my journal. Close it. And look how stinking cute that is. Isn't that adorable? And then you have the little beads hanging out the bottom. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. They're handmade, you know? But look how adorable that is. So you got this adorable little tassel. So I need to trim. Let me see. I think I need to trim. Let me make sure. Yes, I need to trim this side, because this side is good. Yes, this side is good, and this side. Yes, so I just need to trim this side up a little bit. There we go. And there you go. Super simple. I love the cutesy little, like, short one. It's like a little mini one with the little ends. Oh my god, it's so cute. And then of course we have the fall one. See, now we have like the fall, which is longer. And then these bottoms I did put together. And actually why I have you on here, because like, see how stiff this is now? This is super stiff. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my lighter. I'm going to burn up the edges here. Okay. And this can go in a This can go in a much larger book. So my journals are pretty short, but like my Bibles, maybe a hardback book that you're reading, you can make them all different kinds of lengths. But this is the fall. See, and I did 3 fall colored beads up here. So this is just a different length. See how this one's even kind of longer than the journal itself. So it just depends on how you want them, if you want them short and dainty or if you want them bigger and longer. But I love these tassels, and they're not hard to make at all. And they're so cute. They're such like an adorable little like embellishment to add to your journals, Bibles, if you're going to use these for your daily reading, like if you're an avid reader and you know, these can be considered bookmarks, whatever you want to use these little tassels for, but they are so stinking cute. And I love making them for different seasons, and for just like, I make some regular look ones that you can use all year. I just call them boho tassels. And, you know, whatever kind of ribbon you can find, you can do all different kinds. But because fall is coming, I'm kind of focused on fall, but I really love how these look. So I thought I would just show you guys how I make my tassels. There are so many different ways to make tassels. Like, my way, I'm not saying is the right way or the only way. There isn't. I'm sure if you would look here on YouTube, you will find other YouTubers who show you how to make tassels, and they probably do them in a completely different way than I do. But I really find that this way works. I think it works very well for me. I love the added like beads and stuff. That's where I think it comes in more boho. And another thing that you really can do is maybe I will make one here in a minute after I explain it and show it to you. After you're done making these just like this, you then can go in and make a dangle that has like, let me see, I have a couple charms sitting right here. They don't go with anything, but I just have some charms sitting here. I thought I'll grab them real quick. Let's see, like say this doesn't go. It really truly doesn't go. But let's say you have like a fall charm or a mushroom or something of that nature. You can make a beautiful dangle, and you can attach the dangle on the underside where you tied your ribbon together. See how your ribbon's all coming together right here? You can take a claw clip and make a dangle and attach it right here. And then when these come together, your dangle then will hang in the front. So you can add dangles with charms and embellishments and things like that. You can do so much with these boho tassels. So maybe I'll make one with a dangle and show you here at the end of the video. So I have the jump ring and a chain. And I went through and I found out that I have a cute little like sunflower looking one. So I'm going to attach that to this through another jump ring, just like that. Okay, and I'm gonna close this jump ring. I think you guys can see what I'm doing here. I kind of zoomed you in a little bit. So I'm going to close these jump rings. There we go. Now we got it. Then we're gonna put the other jump ring in there. What I'm gonna try to see is if I can attach this without the claw clip, just using the jump ring. But if you wanted to put this on a claw clip, that way, like if you wanted to, you could take this off and on. But I would like to make this like a permanent little piece on here. So I might be able to just attach this with the jump ring. So let me go in and see. Yeah, I can just do it with the jump ring. So I'm gonna just put the jump ring in where I tied together the two, you know, to make the loop. And then I'm gonna just attach the jump ring. Like I said, you can attach this with a claw clip if that's how you so choose. But I want this to be like a permanent thing, so I think I'm just going to use the jump ring instead of putting a claw clip on there. The chain is pretty small, so make sure I got a nice seal. Okay. Alrighty. And then look. Now we have a dangle, a charm, hanging in our tassel. And it's attached right where the tassel ties together right here in a jump ring. And like I said, you know how like I said before, you can go in. If you want to make that a little bit more secure, again, go in with your tacky glue after you attach the jump ring and just add a little bit of glue right where they attach and let that dry. And like I said, the tacky glue this tacky glue always dries clear. So once it's dry, you won't see that, but it'll be as hard as a rock, and you will absolutely make sure that your jump ring isn't going anywhere after it dries. And then there you go. You have an adorable dangle with your boho tassel. Super simple, very easy. These can be done in so many different ways. that one turned out super, super, super cute. So real quick, I wanted to show you guys before I close out the video that I put together, starting to put together the mushroom one. Look how cute these are together, these little mushrooms. And I'm going to experiment, and instead of tying this boho tassel together with this string, I'm actually going to use baker's twine, because I feel like the red baker's twine, which you can add in here too as part of the tassel if you so choose. Look, it looks really cute. But I think the baker's twine is going to look adorable as the tassel, you know, the part that goes in between the books and stuff, because it's going to pick up the red from the mushrooms. So I already showed you how to make a boho tassel with the blue one here, this one. It looks absolutely adorable with the little sunflower dangle. And then of course, you know, you can, like, because it's on a chain, like I can go in and add a couple more little like beads or something hanging off of that. But I just wanted to show you how to attach it. But I feel like the sunflower goes perfect with the little sunflower ribbon that we use. But I can go back in and use some jump rings and you know, add some extra dangles off of that. But even as is, that's just, it's so cute, and you got a little dangle in there. But since I already showed you how to put this one together, I'm going to do the exact same steps to put together the mushroom one. I'm probably going to hang a little dangle off of it as well. And I already picked them out. I'm going to do feathers, because I feel like feathers would look really cute with that. And when I'm done, I will show you what this one looks like, and I'll close out the video. Okay, my crafty friends, I finished it, and I just wanted to show you them in the journal. So here's the first one. This one is a short little dangle. It's like a little mini, and we did the sunflowers with the gingham, and I just think this one's so cute, and it's a cute little spin on fall because it has like the blue colors. And as they sit, they will get a little more, like, gravity will do its thing and the ribbon will lay a little flatter. And then here is the mushroom one from with the mushroom ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I think it turned out super, super, super cute. And I did put a little dangle in this one as well, like I said I would. Here's the little feather. It's so cute. It comes into the front more. I think this one turned out adorable. I love it. And then here is the fall ones that I showed you from the very beginning. I just stuck it in one of my other journals. I have another one laying here that I did. And here's the end. I need to burn the edges of that one. But these turned out so cute. And that is how, guys, I make my dangles for journals. You can use them as bookmarks, Bible tassels, Bible journaling tassels. You can use these for anywhere that you want to. Any kind of book, we'll just put it that way. They are adorable. And then I forgot to show you, I did end up using the baker's twine, which I absolutely love. I thought it turned out super cute with the red that's in the mushrooms. And then I put, instead of like these kinds of beads, I put these two little red ones at the end. I think it brings us just like a really cute color. And instead of joining them like I did with these two, like these, I put them together in the end. I left these ones separate so that you could actually, you know, save two places in whatever book you decide to put these in. So you can have two separate places. I did the same thing with the blue over here. But they look so stinking cute. I absolutely love them. There's the little dangle. I might add another feather. But I just think they're so cute. And they're very easy to make. But like I said, this is how I make dangles. I mentioned earlier that you could probably, like, you know, go on to YouTube here and put in making book tassels, journal tassels, Bible tassels, and I'm sure a million videos will come up. But this is how I find it works, and they are very sturdy. They don't fall apart, and I love the way that they look. And I can make them longer for bigger books, or I can make them little short cuties for littler books, which I think works great for these kind of journals. But like for my Bible, I think the longer ones would work better for like a Bible or a big like hardback book. So I like how you can like just like adjust these to however you want to make them. But anyways, I think they turned out adorable. You let me know down in the comments what you think. I'm going to be working on some more. I want to do some more blue ones. I want to do more mushroom ones. I have some kitty ribbon that I want to use. I just have some different things that I want to stock in my shop. If you're interested in any of these, they will be linked in my Ko-Fi shop. But anyways, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this little tutorial. It inspired you, gave you some ideas maybe to make some for yourself. If you're not the crafty person, but you love all this stuff, you can always check out my Ko-Fi shop. I always sell stuff that I make. I love this stuff. I do this stuff with my whole heart, and I love sharing it with people who, like, they always say, Misty, I love all this stuff, but I don't have the time, or I don't have a crafty bone in my body. I love sharing what I make with others. So if you are interested, it is linked down below in my Ko-Fi shop that is named the Misty Mushroom. But until next time, guys, take care of you and stay crafty. Bye, guys.